Welcome back to Books and Budgets. I'm Ruth, and I'm trying to be intentional with my money in this world where the cost of living seems to be going up a whole lot faster than my paycheck is. I wanted to come back and finish out this paycheck budget for the second half of March. I filmed this actually over a week ago. I should have checked in by the weekend and closed it out, but it was a holiday weekend and I got distracted with starting a new YouTube channel. So, but I do want to be accountable and do this. So I come back to my expense tracker. I see where we left off. Actually, this is take 2. So we left off at Taco Bueno and I added it in the wrong spot. So I'm going to take it off of the grocery list. Ooh, that made quite the mess. There we go. And I'm going to put it, how much was it? 27.23. 27.23 in the eating out column. Got a dot there, got a dot there. All right. Then we had Netflix, which is on here. So I put in the amount and my little dot. Walmart, more groceries. That's how I discovered my mistake on the first take. So $60. Let's see if this will. And 3 cents. Little dot. Little dot. My life insurance. That was also on here. No hair appointment this time. Eating out. This was actually travel on the holiday weekend. Kind of a tradition to grab a soda at McDonald's while we're traveling. So there's that. And I also needed some gas. So I stopped at the Walmart, the Murphy, added some more gas. I believe this is all of my expenses all the way down. Yes, that's everything to close out this budget. Now it comes to the point where we do the math. And I don't know if you're someone who's intimidated by math or gets nervous about math. I actually like math, so I never had a problem with this. Let me see if I can clear this memory. All right. Okay, so first we're going to add up our grocery budget. 58.83 plus 15 plus 135.95 plus 22.77 plus 60.03 equals, I don't know if you can see that, 292.58. Okay, let's add up. Let's add all these up before we put them on the budget tracking sheet. 2408 plus 2825 plus 1818 plus 2723 plus 744 equals 105. And both of these are over budget. This is the categories where I struggled the most. This one's quite a bit over budget. This one's just barely, but I raised that one this month for spring break. I don't know if you have that issue or not. I didn't have any miscellaneous spending. Okay, so now I'm going to transfer these numbers right over here. Let me move this up a little so you can see it really well. 292.58, and you see that that's $92 over my budget. 105.18. And you notice there were several eating out, 4 plus the sodas, and I usually try to keep it to 1 a week, but this was just for 2 weeks, so we snuck in some extras. But you'll also notice these are 2 adults eating off of this, and it's getting hard to eat at McDonald's or any fast food restaurant for this. 1818. I'm not sure. Oh, that was the one where I bought my son the Five Guys, and that was just for him. Has anybody else gotten to where you're almost mastering the art of finding a budget-friendly menu item that you like, or pairing it with some stuff at home? You get something to go and you come home and make a salad or a dessert, or just little ways to make your eating out budget go a little farther. I find myself doing that all the time. This would look like it is above budget, but we carried over $25 from the first part of the month, so I actually had $75 to spend there. Also didn't spend anything on medical, didn't spend anything on miscellaneous. So that is looking good. We are now, this, I have not transferred it yet, but it has to be 120. So I might as well just go ahead and put it in there. And I can put a dot by it when I transfer it. So we're kind of done with the business side. It's time to do the math. And then we can figure out a little bit more of the fun side. So let me set these things aside, get out my trusty calculator, and we'll do that. When I was here before, I told you I didn't total this part right here because I waited to see if I needed to transfer anything from sinking funds. I did not, so I went ahead and totaled this up. The $50, which is my checking buffer, my rollover, my paycheck, and the $25 that came from the first half of the month for gas, totaled $1,726.27. Now, these are my budgeted amounts, and like I said, I budget by underestimating my income and slightly overestimating my expenses. I try to round them up to the nearest $5, and then I put in the exact amount over here. If it's done well, I should end up, no matter how lean a month it is, I should end up with a slight cushion when I get down here. So I have a little something to feel good about. I mean, that's hard enough. So I'm going to add these up. To $835.24. And if you subtract that, oh no, that's not what I meant to do. Losing my mind. Okay. Coming back up here, take our income, subtract. Just want to make sure you stay in the frame. 835.24 equals 891.03. We're going to move that down here and look at our variable spending, those things that we just added up. Equals 547.76. It's a little bit more than I was anticipating. However, because I started out with more, I can add that, subtract it from 891, and I get 343.27, which is more than my 245 budgeted. So I have more left over. I'll have more that I can do with it. Now we come over to what I call the fun side, because I'm always wanting to beat these numbers. I'm always wanting to do more. Now, I did have the $75 from my utilities not being so high that I want to put into a sinking fund to save for the summer when the air conditioning bills come in. So that's a definite. That has to go. Also, the must fills are the $50 for a checking buffer, the $15 for tags and taxes, and the $25 for annual subscriptions. Those have to be met. This is So we're starting with the 343.27. We're subtracting the 50, the 15, the 25, and the 75. And we should get 178.27 to split between all of these. Most of the time I would show you on camera, I would go back and forth. My emergency fund is my priority. I would like to put something in all of these. And I have a little thing down here. I won't even go into the convoluted games that I play with myself to come up with this. But I will keep a small amount of change in ones that I then put into savings challenges that I do on my own. Small savings challenges. That's a whole thing that I cannot get into to the level that some people are. Some of y'all are playing, you know, world-class level. I'm just an amateur. So just to make it faster, I will go ahead and say I did put 75 in my emergency fund. I put 15 in all of these. Even these that I'd only budgeted 10, I went ahead and put 15 in them. So we ended up with 255, which makes sense because 5 and 5 right there would have been 10 more. So with that subtracted from the 343.27, I have and a mistake. So let's try that again. 343.27 minus 255 equals, I have 88.27. Which is what I intended to have, because I'm going to carry that down here. I just skipped this part right here, because this is for debt. And at the moment, I don't have any other than my mortgage. So if I subtract the 75 from this, I get 13.27. And that is what I'm going to have for my little party with my pennies. I guess that's what I'll call it. A party with my pennies. Okay. 88.27. When you subtract that, you get 0, which is what we all refer to as a zero-based budget. It's not that I take my accounts down to 0, because I have this checking buffer here, and I actually even have a silent buffer that I don't even know about, that I don't tell myself about, that's in addition to that. It's not that we take our accounts down to 0. It's not that we don't have any fun, or we take our budget down to the bare bones. It's that every single dollar has a job. This is what I didn't get before, when I would just kind of go along and spend and not pay attention. I get so much more out of my money when I pay attention and I tell it what to do, rather than reacting to what it did when I wasn't looking. They're like students. They really are. If you don't pay attention to them, they will get themselves into trouble. I know that's funny. It's kind of funny to some of us. Okay, so this is what I plan to do with this. So that means I have to figure out how much I'm transferring to my savings account. Well, this 120 is going in there. Everything here except for the $50 checking buffer, so that's 205. Oh, now we're going to end up needing this again, 120 plus 205 plus this 75 down here. The pennies, the few dollars that I leave out, I will actually go to when I go to the bank, I will go through the drive-through and I will ask for usually ones and dimes to do my little savings challenge. So I don't count that as what needs to be transferred to savings. But this insurance money, all of these sinking funds, and this sinking fund do need to go, and that's $400. So over here, here's my little cash that I'm going to get out. 13, what did I say, 27? 13.27. and transfer to savings $400. And if you do that, then your balance, if it all comes out correctly, should be, oh, see, I already did that wrong. Should be $50. And that's my checking buffer that I will transfer to the next month. Now, I said once that I am cashless, that I don't keep my sinking funds in envelopes, and I don't have a bank account. I do need to look into the high yield savings accounts. I do not have a bank account that has its own buckets. So what I do is I track it on paper. I've made myself a form. It's the back of the form where I do this. And I track my savings. This is where we started. This is everything that's in my one savings account. I don't open like 10 savings accounts either. It's all in one bucket, but I keep it separated on paper. So I end up saying, okay, in my emergency fund, I added $75. And then something that you wouldn't know about, give me just a minute here. I need to move a paper so I can see the one I did in pencil. My son, I loaned him some money that he is repaying, and he made an $80 payment. So that is going into my emergency fund as well. My home account got 15. Home maintenance, home anything. Insurance is harder to track because it is the thing that comes out of it gets pulled electronically for premiums. I put in 150 here and 120 here, which is 270. Put that in like this. And then what went out was 173.78. So the first half of the month, I don't put anything in, but my car insurance premium comes out for about $84, $85. So, it builds up, it takes out, it builds up, it takes out. I just keep track. The car tags and taxes got $15. Car maintenance got $15. They both go into the same pot. And at the end of the month, I will show you how I keep those separate. But pet got 15. Entertainment, which is the subscriptions, got 25. Medical got 15. Gifts got 15. Vacation got 15. And utilities got 75. Now, if these look like small totals to you to have $205, now $220 in a vacation fund, it's not going to do a whole lot, especially if it's for me and my son. But I had to start somewhere. Like I said in my other video, there were times when this was $2, maybe a month, maybe $2 every paycheck. Just being able to move forward on it. I do put money in them when I get bonuses or my income tax refund. I put money in them a lot of times based on a percentage. Maybe 50% go to the emergency fund, 50% go to this, or 33. I may divide it in thirds, put a third to the emergency fund. Back when I had debt, I'd put a third to the debt and a third to these sinking funds. That was really not bad because 2/3 of it ends up going to savings, which is really great. But I do this way, and then I kind of add things up this way, and I add things up this way, and I make sure they meet at the bottom. So, let's see. I added 80, and I added 75 to this. So this ended up 3,707.07. That's, according to somebody like Dave Ramsey, that's more than enough for an emergency fund. This was my savings forever. And to me, it's just not enough. I mean, there were times when I had it at 10 or 15,000, and the fact that it is down here, and this is up from where it used to be, that's part of the reason I'm doing this. Yes, I'm going to do some of these figures in my head. Now, this one I cannot. Let's see, negative 8.99. Make that negative. Minus 173.78. Plus 270 equals 87.23. Okay. This gets added 30. This gets added 15. 25. 15. 15. And this one didn't add anything, so its balance stays the same. This is just a little money that I had left over. I did all the responsible things that I was supposed to do with my income tax refund, but there was like $22 that was just sticking out there, and I said, I want that for me. I'm going to spend that. And then I didn't immediately have anything to spend it on, so I've stuck it in there, and I just know that I have permission to spend that anytime I want. So I'm going to add this column down this way. Yes, this is what I had before. Now, I add that to this one right here. $5,268.30. Now I double check because I've added this across this way. So these could be different. I mean, it makes sense that they'd be the same, but I can't tell you how many times they're not. And look at there. It ended up the exact same. Shoo. I was sure that being on camera, it would not. All right, I added a note down here to remind myself it was the end of the quarter, and my paltry little interest in my not high yield savings account came through. So I can add that to the total, $2.17. And I end with, and that will eventually be added right here. It'll go into the emergency fund. But the total, the one that I will use to check my balance with my bank and make sure that I am in alignment, will be this one right here, $5,270. Okay, that ended up way longer than I wanted it to be. I really do want to find a way to get these videos down to 15 minutes, between 10 and 15 minutes. So I will keep working on that. And I will be filming another video where I show how I close out the whole month, what I do at the end of the month, which for me, since I am a 2 paycheck per month employee, I get paid on the 15th and the last of the month. So I get 2 paychecks per month, and that's the same every month. So since that's true for me, it's very easy for me to come in at the end, kind of add up numbers from both this paycheck budget and the other paycheck budget and come up with a closeout for the entire month. And then I track certain things on some annual forms. I'll get into all of that in the next video. So yes, YouTube has distracted me a little. I am learning at an exponential rate things about editing, things about adding music, things about starting a channel. It's an education. I'm very much enjoying it, but it has got me away from my budgeting. So I'm going to get everything caught up and then try to stay on track, because this is an accountability for me. Anyway, I'm really glad you're here. If this has been helpful for you, if explaining the math or showing how I put things together is helpful, please hit the thumbs up button. kind of let me know that you're there. This is like sending a message in a bottle out into the ocean. You just have no idea who might be listening. Hit the thumbs up. If you are interested in some of this content, please feel free to suggest some topics. I will be adding some things other than just budget with me's as soon as I get caught up and get a routine going. So any suggestions, any comments down underneath the description, I would really appreciate. Before I trip over my mouth anymore, I'm going to let you go. Have a great evening. Talk to you soon.